Peace and blessings. Welcome back, Life Warrior. Happy Monday. It is good to be here with you, and welcome back to your Monday message. I am Dharma Shakti, your host, with your weekly dose of something inspirational. I have a really great quote for you today, something that I picked up a long time ago that stuck with me from Reverend Michael Beckwith. He says, "Align with your divine design." Always loved his poetic nature. Align with your divine design. Look, there's a lot of things in life that we align with. We align with political parties. We align with what we fear. We align with others who like to complain about the same things we like to complain about. We align with our nationality. We align with our culture. There are a lot of things that we align ourselves with, and some of it is just by default. But what this quote is asking you to do is to be intentional and not just do by default without thinking about it, just because we're conditioned to find alignment with a clique or finding alignment with a religious organization and those people. This is about intentionally going inward and doing the work of aligning with your divine design. So look, if you're new to my page or you're new to these videos, I did a video in the beginning of January that was alignment over achievement. And that's kind of my theme for this month of January 2025 is alignment. It's something that I'm working on. And so, of course, the way that I teach is by teaching from a place of direct experience. If I'm struggling with something or needing to work on something, most likely so are you. We're very unique in our journeys, but we're also really very much the same. So my focus this month for myself and for the content that I've been teaching is about alignment. And so I just wanted to go a little deeper with this video and talk about aligning with your divine design. So just, before I dive into it, I have some notes that I'm going to be looking at. So if I look down, I just want to make sure I touch on all the important topics that I have put together for you today. But just take a moment to think about the things that you are aligned with, just sort of by default. You're aligned with that group of friends that's no longer associating with those other group of friends, or you're aligned with a particular business or an organization, and you're opposed to that one, or, just we have alignments. We have things that we're aligned to, that we're lined up with in a way where we function and lock in step with it. And oftentimes it happens in a very unconscious way. We just line up with things that resonate with us, things that make us feel good, things that kind of feed our ego, or things that give us comfort, or things that join in with us on our pity parties, in our sort of self-righteousness of being a right fighter. We naturally, in our human setting, our default mode is to align outward with a lot of things. And I'm not saying that those are good or bad and that you shouldn't do them. I mean, some of them that I mentioned, maybe I was, not speaking in such a positive tone about, but there are things that we align with that are detrimental for us or can be good for us, right? They can be upgrading or degrading. And there are always going to be things outside of us that we align with. What I want to talk to you today about is this really great quote from Michael Beckwith: align with your divine design. And that requires some inner work. And so let's unpack that a little bit now that you've thought about the things that you're really aligned with on the outside, and are they serving you or not serving you? I just wanted you to think for a second. You don't need to make a list and be down on yourself, but just take a minute to reflect. What am I aligned with? What have I aligned with? What has really pulled me in to work and lock in step with that thing, with that message or with that mission? And so let's re-engineer or just take a different approach to alignment and aligning with our divine design. So what is divine design? What does that mean? How does it relate to your potential? And really, how does it relate to your unique blueprint in life? Because that's what it is. So divine design refers to a unique blueprint that applies to every individual, and it really encompasses your true essence, right? Your purpose, your true purpose, and your potential. Okay, it represents a harmonious integration of your spiritual nature and your personal development and the journey of those two. Okay, for me, I'm a big advocate of integrating those two things together. I think it's exceptionally important that as we work on our spiritual development, our spiritual growth, and our spiritual evolution, that we don't negate the human that we are and the personality that we've come into this world with. We need to develop the human while we understand and connect with the soul and align those things together. And to me, that's really like the essence of your divine design. Understanding the soul, the journey that you're taking as this human, and is the human that you are, what are the gifts and the skills that you have, the purpose that you're here to really live into, and how do we integrate? How do we be the human while we also are really connected to the spirit of who we are? Okay, so this will guide you towards living a life of authenticity, a life of fulfillment, and really help you live in a way where you feel like you're contributing to the greater good of your family, of your social circle, of your community, to the environment, to the world around you, to a movement or a mission, okay? It involves knowing yourself and really tuning in to your inner guidance, and through practices like meditation, self-awareness, self-reflection, it's intentional growth and expressing yourself, your highest self, in all areas of your life. Okay, I think I've given a fairly good definition to what do I mean by divine design, okay? It really, if you're familiar with Vedic teachings or languaging, it's your dharma. What are you divinely made to do? Meaning, what did you come into this world with as your innate gifts and skills and abilities? And it's not that you just discover that at one age of your life and that's it for the rest of your life. There are layers and layers and layers to your divine design, and there are seasons of your life in which you will uncover those layers. So it's not like great, I figured it all out, I know what my purpose is. We think that this purpose of life, this dharmic purpose, is this end goal that we arrive at the end of our life, and I lived my purpose. But it really is about being more intentional every day, but being intentional with an awareness of who you are and how you want to live into that day intentionally. Rewind and write that down. Okay, so we often align with our parents' design of us, we align with our social circle's design of us, right? Like who my friends knew me as when I was in high school. If they were to see me now, I would be like a different person. The design of who I was then through their lens may be different than the design that I'm living into now, right? Because it's through their perception of what and who I am, right? So let me just, again, we often will align ourselves to our parents' design of us, who our parents want us to be and mold us into being and expecting us to be and teaching us to be, okay? Or our social circle's design, or we align with society's design of who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be those things and when, right? Our divine design is learning to live in a way and into the way that divinity created you to be at your best, okay? You may be good at it and like it. You also may be good at it and not like it. Like I know my divine design is to lead people and empower people through yoga. My divine design is not to be a math tutor. I am not designed to do math. I can do math. I do math when I need to, but it is not my purpose in life. There are other people who are just easy peasy. They love math. They're great at it, or maybe they don't like it, but they're really good at it. They understand it really well. And that's something I want to just touch on too, is that our divine design, it typically is something that you're good at, and you may like the thing that you're good at, and you may not like the thing that you're good at. For example, outside of the math situation, I love to lead people through yoga classes and organize retreats and workshops and kind of be the lead there. But I personally, it's not my preference to be a business owner and like lead others in business and manage others through business. It's not my preference, but I am good at it and I can do it, and it is part of my dharma. So I'm good at it. I don't necessarily like it. It's not my number one thing that I like to do. Like, let me manage 30 plus yoga teachers at my yoga studio because I love doing that. I'm not saying I totally dislike it, but it's not my, there was a moment in my life where I said out loud in front of an astrologer who did a karmic astrology reading for me. And I said, it's really not my purpose to be managing people, because I just saw myself as the yoga teacher. And she looked at me and she said, actually, it is. It's in your chart. It is in your dharma to be managing and leading people. And so I give this personal example because it's the best one that I know to really relay this message that sometimes your divine design is something that you really love and you're good at it. And sometimes it may be something that you don't really absolutely love, but you are good at it, and it may serve a purpose for doing other things that you love, or being able to create the space to do other things that you love, right? So maybe you are really good at math. It's not your dream job to be an accountant or a CPA, but it allows you to help other people and earn a living so that you can go out and pursue the other things that you really love doing. So it's not, when we talk about our divine design, it's not that it's like a black and white thing where we're this or we're that, and once we decided we're that, it's only that. There's nuance and layers, which is why I want to talk to you about how can we discover these things? How are we able to connect and have that inner knowing? How do we access that inner knowing so that we can feel like we are aligned with our divine design? So let me just turn my page of notes here for you. So that I make sure to get all of these points that I've written out for you all. Okay, so again, your divine design is your unique blueprint that's within you. Each person has a unique blueprint. Your divine design blends your spiritual essence with the gifts that are naturally ingrained in you that get drawn out and refined over time, right? With things like personal development and intentional growth. Okay, so this creates a complete guide to authentic living, right? When we are in tune with or doing practices with that help us connect to our divine design, it allows us to be guided by that divine design to live most authentically. So here are some components of divine design. One is true essence, okay? Understanding your soul's purpose or calling of your higher self. This is part of divine design, is really getting to the true essence, right? What is your soul's purpose, right? And part of that is looking at the type of personality that you have, not the one you're conditioned to have. Another part of our true essence in divine design is discovering your core values, your passions, and your strengths. This is really important. So when we talk about divine design, there are two components. There's a spiritual component and a personal development component. That's one word, personal development component. So there's a soul aspect, and then there's the human aspect. And we need to, again, integrate those things together. So one component here is understanding our essence. Okay, so understanding sort of your soul's purpose or the calling of your higher self, right? And really the way you do that is by really following what interests you, pursuing what interests you, and just kind of following along that path. Then there is discovering your core values, passions, and strengths. This is the personal development part. The human part is what are my values? What are things that I'm interested in? And what am I good at? This is a good place to start, okay? Second component is life purpose, okay? So the soul aspect or the spiritual aspect. Is there a calling or a mission or a contribution that feels divinely inspired, spirit-led, or like your heart is calling you to do it? So when we think of life purpose, we think of, is there a mission or a calling or a contribution in the world that I feel divinely inspired to partake in, to participate in, to contribute to? Or I feel led by my spirit, or my heart is calling me, right? Like if you're a musician and you just feel called to make music, if you are a baker and you feel called to bake really delicious things for people, or you're a parent and you feel really called to create a beautiful upbringing for your children. This does not have to be career related. We often confuse and connect unnecessarily our divine design or our purpose with career. And sometimes it is the case, sometimes it's not the case. So I want to make sure that we're not thinking that our divine design is whatever we do with our career. It may not. Okay. So now for the personal development, human component of life purpose is learning to set goals and aim for things that align with that true purpose. Okay. So how do we get clear on what our heart is calling us to do and contribute to the world? And then how do we put that into action? How do we set goals so that we do that instead of just dreaming about it or just talking about it? Okay. And then the third component is potential. So we have to have a belief in our limitless potential within. The spiritual component is that we have to believe that there is a limitless potential within us. We have to believe that there's more and more and more that we can discover about our goodness and our skills and our gifts and our greatness. We have to believe that that's in there, that it's naturally ingrained within us, and it's just us discovering it, uncovering it, manifesting it. And then the human part, the personal development aspect to potential is cultivating skills and mindset that unlocks that potential. What are we doing? How are we cultivating the skills and the mindset that unlocks that potential that we're telling ourselves that we believe is in there? So I'm going to give you some ways to engage with all these things, okay? So if you haven't been taking notes yet, now is a good time to start taking notes. Write these down. Practices to help you, okay? So meditation, mindfulness practices, self-study, studying ourselves through sacred literature, also studying ourselves through systems and scientists like Ayurveda, Jyotish, Vedic Astrology, things like human design, Enneagram, all these sort of things that help us understand our personality types, right? Or our constitutional types, our psychology and our physiology. Another practice to help is self-reflection and self-awareness. Really important. And we can do that a lot through journaling and contemplating, right? As we journal, contemplate things like what feels authentic and fulfilling, what feels expansive, what feels contractive. When I'm pursuing a goal or something that I want to do, or I have an opportunity in front of me, does it feel expansive when I think about doing that? Or does it feel contractive? Okay. And then another practice to help is intentional growth. Set clear, purposeful goals that resonate with your divine design. Okay, so first practice, we want to have meditation practices, mindfulness practices that help us connect inward. And a tool underlying that help us make that connection inward through meditation and mindfulness is studying the self through sacred literature and sciences like Ayurveda, astrology, human design, things like this. Okay. Second practice, self-reflection and self-awareness. We do this through journaling and contemplating. What feels authentic and fulfilling to me? What feels expansive and contractive? Third practice to help here is intentional growth. Set clear, purposeful goals that resonate with your divine design. Okay, we have to discover and then to put into action. Discover and decide. Discover and decide. Discover who am I? Decide how am I going to put that into play every day. Okay, so a good place to start being, living a little bit more in alignment with your divine design is start by following and pursuing what interests you and what makes you feel expansive. Okay, be more intentional with what you're doing and what you're aligning to. Finding a guided meditation that can help you tap into your inner knowing of purpose. I'm going to drop a link down below that will help you through a meditation practice connect with that inner knowing so that you can feel like you're tapping into that insight and wisdom of what is my heart calling me to do? What is my purpose? So I'm going to drop a meditation link down below for you that I've checked out. You can write a personal manifesto, like a purpose statement. And it can start with I like to bring joy to what I do so that I can be a great example for those that are around me. Whatever it is, like I want to, whatever you want to do, so that I can be whatever you'd like to be, so that what is the outcome that that brings? I like to inspire others. I like to bring my best foot forward so that I can inspire others. And I like to bring my best foot forward so I can be an inspiration to others so that others feel inspired to be their best self. Something like this, writing some kind of purpose manifesto. If you're really interested in that, I do that a lot in my coaching work. You can always check in with me about some one-on-one coaching or my group coaching. Okay, I have a few exercises for you to do here, okay? So I know I'm blowing through a lot of ideas here, but I want you to really, these are actual homework assignments that you can do to help you figure out your divine design, okay? So for journaling, I want you to use journal prompts like, this is for you to figure out your true essence. What do I truly value? What makes me feel whole? What brings me joy? When do I feel most alive? And when do I feel most connected to something greater than myself? Right? Take some time to answer these questions, and maybe once a year come back to these because they might change. What do I truly value? What makes me feel whole? What brings me joy? When do I feel most alive? And when do I feel most connected to something greater than myself? Start with these journal prompts, okay? To kind of tap into life purpose, because these are the three components to divine design: true essence, life purpose, and your potential, okay? So here's something that you can do as a practice, right, for your life purpose. Do you have any goals that align with your divine design? So understanding our true essence, now how do we live into it? How do we start activating it? Well, do I have goals that line up with what I feel like is my divine design? If you love yoga, do you have any goals for learning more, or like, do you have goals around what you want to do with yoga, right? You feel called to music. Do you have goals around what you're doing with your music? Do you want to learn a new instrument? Do you want to produce and put out a song? Are you trying to record an album, right? You love to bake. Are you cooking for others? Are you teaching others to cook? Are you opening up a little bakery? Are you doing cooking workshops? Like, what are you doing with it? What do you want and desire to do with your interests, skills, or gifts? So do you have goals that are aligned with your divine design? How do you create a goal for yourself? What's a project that you'd like to put out into the world, or a skill that you'd like to acquire with your divine design, okay? Now moving into potential, how do we do some practical things for our potential? Some homework assignments here are affirmations. Really utilizing affirmations to help us condition ourselves to lean into our potential. Like, I am capable of extraordinary things. Or my personal favorite, there is greatness in me and I believe in my greatness, okay? It's really, really good to practice these things. I've just given you some 3 simple homework assignments that you can begin to do on a weekly, daily basis to help you start to tap into your divine design and to help you align with that divine design, okay? Again, I highly recommend you do things like figure out your Ayurvedic dosha, get a Vedic astrology reading, figure out what is my human design or what's my Enneagram. Like, all these things will help you have a greater understanding of this person that you are, the human part of you, and the soul that is living through this person that came here to do some amazing things. And when you do that work, you are aligning with your divine design. And when you do that, life becomes pretty magical. It becomes pretty amazing. And I want that for you. You deserve that. And we all should be working towards contributing to this world from a place of alignment with our divine design. So I'm going to drop some links down below to help you access some of those things. If those are things that you want to learn and to get information about, I have some friends that I'll refer you to get that information so you get a little bit closer to understanding yourself so that you can align with that divine design and really live into your potential, really live into your purpose, and feel good about the life that you're living, because you deserve that. Okay, so let's keep working on alignment. Let's keep rolling into this year of really getting aligned with ourselves and with our purpose and with our goals and our dreams, so that we feel like we're living a life of fulfillment rather than living a life where we are seeking to feel full. Okay, my friends, happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please smash that like button and feel free to share this video with somebody who you think needs it. And as always, drop me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you and what you got out of this video. Otherwise, I will see you next Monday. If you'd like to see me more often, please feel free to join my group coaching program called The Empowered Way. We meet every Tuesday, and I'll leave the link down below for you to check that out as well if you'd like to do more work with me and in real time, where you can ask me questions and I'm coaching you on specific topics. I'd love to do that. I also do one-on-one coaching, so if you'd like to book a session with me to talk about one-on-one coaching, we can do that too. I'll drop a link down below for you to be able to do that. Okay, have an amazing week. I'll see you all next time. So much love and joy and happiness from my heart to yours. Namaste.